By a show of hands, how many of you have faced the situation where you needed more time or money to complete your project? I've been there before. If you did not raise your hand, I would request you to ask that question to yourself again. You might wonder what this question has to do with the presentation today. I asked this question because this presentation illustrates engineering efficiency in AutoSAR implementation. Good morning, everyone. I'm Augustine Selwin, Systems and Software Engineering Manager for Active Safety and User Experience Division from Aptiv. I have 12 years of engineering experience with automotive and manufacturing industries. I've always embraced the challenges involved in new product development. My engineering leadership comes in the form of growing and leading various high-performance teams in executing complex projects using agile methodologies, which is one of the main reasons why I'm asked to present here today. Where do I come from? Aptiv. We are a global organization with over 120 manufacturing sites and 15 technical centers. We have a global workforce of 150,000 employees, out of which close to 7,000 software engineers are dedicated to do software workframe. We are spread across 44 countries. Let's have a short, brief look on our 2018 performances. We have our bookings in the order of $22 billion. We have our revenue in the range of $14 billion, and our operating income is close to $2 billion, which all signals the strong growth and performance that we are able to put together. We from Aptiv take pride in being integral part of mobility and shaping the future of mobility through safer, greener, and more connected solutions for our global customer base. If I have to summarize about Aptiv, we care about our people, our product, and the planet. This is where I come from, Aptiv. In order to go through the efficiency portion of implementing AutoSAR, based on my experience, there are 5 steps involved. And we'll go through each step briefly. The first and foremost step is to understand why AutoSAR for your organization. To instill the belief from top to bottom in your organization, AutoSAR is the technology that you would like to move forward with. The second step is to know what is AutoSAR. What is this technology that we should be interested, and what kind of expertise that we need to build in this technology. The third step is, how do I implement this technology for the organization? The fourth step being the development, the configuration, and the testing involved in executing your plan. The final step is to make sure you go through all your checklists, make them all nice and ready so that your software is absolutely safe to be released to your customer. We'll walk through each step briefly. Before I do that, all these steps are critical in nature by themselves, but there is one step, based on my experience, stands out from other steps a little bit more. By this time, you would have guessed what is the step, but I would like you to take a moment to ask that question to yourself. What could be the most important step in implementing AutoSAR? All right, let's see. just to understand the parallel thought process in this room, how many of you guess to be planning to be your important step by show of hands? All right, there's more people than I expected. Great. Thanks for sharing. So just for logical reasons, we'll go through step 1 and 2, and after that, I'm planning to combine step 3, 4, and 5 together for the flow. The first question to ask is, why AutoSAR for my organization? As you can see from the chart, there is 63% of usage in the last decade or so. So the growth in AutoSAR is tremendous. Technology is contagious. Smartphones, autonomous vehicles, internet. So you want to be part of this journey just because this is contagious, or you would like to know what does it offer for the organization before choosing the answer for why AutoSAR. If you're asking that question, you're on the right track. We'll go through the benefits. AutoSAR has many benefits. These are some of the ones that I handpicked based on my experience. The first and foremost benefit, it provides a global standard on your software architecture. There's a consortium in place, AutoSAR.org, which would tell you the specifications involved in your architecture, what components are involved, and it's a global standard where all OEMs, tier 1, suppliers, everybody is involved in this global standard. The next thing, which is a benefit to AutoSAR implementation, is it helps you to remove the dependency on the software on a specific hardware. The architecture by itself is horizontal in nature, so you can focus more on your application layer and do not worry about your basic software dependency on your microcontroller. Since the architecture is a standard and the basic software has a common architecture, it enables the reuse of your software in multiple platforms. As I said before, the interfaces has definitions on how to be developed, and it has its standards. So it helps you to be AutoSAR compliant in any new features that you're planning to develop. This is a tool-based software instead of a hand-coded software, so it helps you to handle the variants of your product with much ease. Since the architecture by itself is a standard, you can, and with all the benefits mentioned before, your time to market significantly improves with AutoSAR. AutoSAR also gives you more of a futuristic approach. It helps you to move away from project-based thinking to more of a product-based thinking. And last but not least, it's a technology together. Everybody participates and everybody has their contribution towards the technology, and it is more of a community when you develop AutoSAR. What is AutoSAR? It is an automotive open system architecture which focuses mainly on introducing a layer between the hardware of your electronic control unit and the application layer of your software. As you can see, the architecture itself is horizontal in nature. You have a microcontroller abstraction layer, which acts as the interface between your basic software and your microcontroller. And you have a runtime environment, which helps you with all the ports and configurations for your basic software to integrate with your application layer. This means you can focus more your time with application software than focusing on bringing up the hardware with your basic software. And as you can see, this allows parallel development instead of having interdependencies between hardware and software. This is one of the major advantages of AutoSAR. Now to the most important part, the planning phase. There are prerequisites before implementing any technology. So this slide will go through what are the prerequisites that you should be aware of before implementing AutoSAR. The first one being specifications. You should understand the standard specifications that is available with the consortium. You should understand the architecture offered and the components that are part of the basic software architecture. Unfortunately, AutoSAR is not something like buying a USB drive from a certain place where you can just plug and play. AutoSAR involves expertise knowledge for you to configure and integrate with your software and your complex algorithms. So there is a major work involved with configuration and integration. Before choosing AutoSAR, you have to understand the microcontroller by itself has to be developed keeping AutoSAR in mind. Your microcontroller abstraction layer should be readily available by the time you are starting to develop your AutoSAR implementation. If you are planning to go to your latest version of AutoSAR, which is 4.3.1, and your MCALs provided by your microcontroller are not upgraded with that level of AutoSAR, there is an issue of compatibility. So that's something that you should keep in mind while implementing AutoSAR. How safe do you want your features or your product or your ECU by itself? What is your goal in terms of functional safety? That has to be kept in mind before you choose to implement AutoSAR. Everything comes with a space, so AutoSAR also comes with a space. So you would like to understand how can the micro perform with your AutoSAR package? How much memory does it take to implement AutoSAR? And of course, money is involved here. You have to understand on MCALs what licensing models the microcontroller the company is offering so that you choose what's best for your organization. Like every technology, AutoSAR has a tool base. And you need a configurator and a developer to implement and configure AutoSAR with your existing software. And the tool base comes with licensing models as well. Some are floating licenses. Some tools needed to be desktop-based. So you have to choose what's best for your organization. This is one of the important prerequisites to keep in mind. If you have a legacy software of a decade or over 2 decades, you need the expertise to understand your existing features and functionality before redesigning your software to accommodate AutoSAR architecture. There are many key players involved in implementing AutoSAR. Based on my experience, we're going to quickly go through 3 important key players. The first one being the AutoSAR basic software provider by itself. The second one is the consulting partner who you choose to implement and configure AutoSAR for you. And the third key partner is the implementation organization by itself. Before you choose AutoSAR core partner who's going to deliver the basic software to you, you would like to understand from the time you place a request via questionnaire or by any other means in a meeting saying this is your AutoSAR requirement, how much time does it take for that organization to provide you with a quotation and to provide you with their first package. So you need to understand their delivery timing. And of course, like every software package, various suppliers provide you with various licensing models. So you need to understand what would it take for you to develop the software and in order for you to productionize it, what is the licensing model that you would like to go to? Since there is a lot of tool chain involved and you want your core partner to provide you with the trainings needed to accommodate with their tools. So you need to understand how is their schedule to provide you with the required trainings in implementing AutoSAR. Everybody has a standard off-the-shelf solutions provided, and you would like to understand what is the timing on those standard off-the-shelf solutions. And as Dr. Gunther Hilling mentioned, one of the challenges is every end customer has a specific need which is unique for them. So you need to understand if there is a case of a customized solution, how much time would it take for your core partner to provide you with that customized solution? And the last one that I think is important is the customer expertise itself on the product, okay? We have various OEMs involved, and each OEM has the specific architecture or a customized solution. So a good experience on your end customer also helps. Now, the consulting partner, who is going to technically get the package from your core partner and implement and merge it with your algorithms and within your product. The first question to ask is, what is their knowledge base in terms of the AutoSAR package provided by your core partner? And what is their expertise on the basic software architecture? Have they integrated before, or what is their downtime in terms of implementing the package that received from the core partner? What is their expertise on the tool set offered by the core partner? There are a lot of tools involved when you develop and configure software. So this is one of the questions to be asked. And of course, on your own end product, how much does the consulting company knows about your end product? So coming back to the implementation organization, one of the key players in implementing AutoSAR, the first point, which hardly never ever happens, timely distribution of customer requirements. So this is one of the main items that the implementation organization should be supporting both the core partner and the consulting partner. You have to define your safety goals for your ECU, for the features, for your algorithms. What development methodologies are you planning in implementing AutoSAR? Are you doing Agile? How many iterations? What's your Scrum planning? All those things come into picture. What is your issue tracking method with your core partner and your consulting partner? Are you planning to use Jira? Are you planning to use some other issue tracking tool? And it is very important to understand that what is the timing that they would like you to, that they like to respond to your questions and queries in form of ticket. What is the communication method preferred between all these key players? Is it a Skype meeting? Is it a WebEx meeting? Or you want to do it face-to-face in a conference room? It is very important to define that even before you plan to implement AutoSAR. If you choose a hardware that is not available for the next 2 years, there is no point starting to implement AutoSAR early enough. So you have to understand what is your hardware availability and when can you have your microcontroller abstraction layer, the MCALs, available for the hardware as well. And it is important to understand your ECU or the product that you're making is not the only one in the car. There are other components as well. So it is important to understand the requirements for interfaces even before you plan to implement AutoSAR. And what does the overall system testing look like? What is the end goal in providing an output that's traceable back to your requirements? So you have to plan for your end-to-end testing on the product that you're planning to develop with AutoSAR. AutoSAR by itself forces the organization to have more of a futuristic thinking. It is very important for organizations to have a roadmap or a portfolio about their products. You should understand what are the upcoming products that you're planning to build and how you want to leverage AutoSAR for your products. There are 4 things that I would like to mention what a roadmap and a vision for your organization will look like when you want to implement AutoSAR. The first one is the end game. The vision of a roadmap itself gives you an end game of what do you want to do with AutoSAR, or what product do you want to make and contribute, and do you want it to be classic, adaptive? It's important to understand your end game. The product by itself is going to provide instructions on how to leverage AutoSAR compliance software. The third one that I would like to discuss is it also gives you time to fix things that were not part of your first two products on your portfolio. For example, you wanted high level of cybersecurity or fast over-the-air updates. You may have not been able to do it in the first two products because of your growth in AutoSAR, but since you have gone through a phase of implementing AutoSAR, you have gained the experience now. It allows the time to fix on your future products on the high-level features that you want to implement. Last but not least, it's going to empower deadlines on your end goal. What is your end goal in terms of AutoSAR? What is that you want to achieve in implementing AutoSAR in your organization? So it provides an end goal and a vision to implement AutoSAR. So it is very important as an organization, you have a roadmap and a vision. So we spoke about requirements. In an ideal case, for example, let's take you have all the requirements in place in day one. Then you go your core partner who's providing you with the basic software, say, I have all the requirements. Now, can you provide me with the package for my product? So they're going to provide you with a development package. You're going to configure the package. You're going to do your bug fixes. Then they're going to submit their updated package, and you're going to test it, and that becomes your production intent package. This is a great scenario for everyone. But being involved in complicated projects, this never happened to me. Usually, requirements are coming thick and faster. The features, the upgrades are coming thick and faster. You are expected to adapt to all the new features that are coming in, all the new algorithms that are coming in from your end customer. So with my experience, this is more of an ongoing iterative process where your agile methodologies is going to help you with. So you get you get your first set of requirements, you get the development package, and you go through the cycle. And this cycle keeps continuing. I will not give you a headache, I'll stop it. This cycle keeps on continuing until your requirements freezes and your end customer tells you the testing went okay, all the features are working in the way that you want, and that becomes your production intent package. So this approach is iterative. I know we are more interested towards first time right and getting implemented in the first shot itself, but how AutoSAR is designed by itself, it's more iterative. So we all should understand that. There's an oversight when implementing AutoSAR. This slide is more of a lesson learned, what I've experienced in my organization, where there are a lot of key players involved in the implementation of AutoSAR. You have your micro supplier, you have your core partner, you have your consulting partner, you have your end customer, and you have a lot of stakeholders within your organization itself. It is very important to understand that you have to manage the communication. It is not a choice, it is a must if you want to add efficiency in your organization. So, for example, for 3 people, it takes 3 communication channels, going by the formula that's mentioned on the slide, n times n minus 1 by 2. If you add more people in more stakeholders in your communication management, it is going to add more time, and it's going to result in more reports, more meetings, and it is very complicated to manage your communication channels. So it is good to define a communication management plan with all the stakeholders involved, your issue tracking methods in what timing you will go into a meeting, how will the reports be delivered to various parties. It's good to have that defined so you can implement AutoSAR with your organization with maximum efficiency. With that, I would like to wish each one of you all the very best in implementing AutoSAR in your organization with maximum efficiency. I would like to take a moment to thank Mr. Tony Mescolo and his Vector team for providing me and Aptiv with this opportunity to share our experiences with AutoSAR. And it is a great gesture from them to host this event where a lot of great minds combine together to share their experiences on various topics. And I would like to thank the previous speakers. I would like to congratulate them for their speech. And for all the future speakers today and tomorrow, I wish you all the best. And you have been such a kind audience. Thank you very much, everyone.